right, here we go. What up, people? Welcome to the show. It's Monday after a lovely weekend. We had a fun one. Did I turn the music down enough? Is that okay? Well, at least for now. Okay. Yeah, we had a lovely weekend. We had went up to up north with Lady Boomer for her birthday. And my son surprised her. She didn't know my son was flying in from Denver to come see her on her birthday. And my daughter-in-law, too. It's fun to say, my daughter-in-law. It's nice to have two kids married off. And then we had a surprise party for her here that she had no idea when we got back. So that was kind of fun. Over the weekend, lots of things going on in the news. A couple of spectacular fights broke out in the world that everyone's talking about. And, you know, we just got all this other stuff that's happening. Obviously, the Trump stuff and mostly the Trump stuff, because that's all people are talking about. Boy, are people just lose their minds over that. But there's a lot of little tidbits we can get to. Lots of things trending in the news. We'll get to as much as we can, like we do every Monday on the Morning Night Live. Johnny, are you ready? Are you ready to play that intro? Are you sure? Because I'd really like you to play the intro. Oh, you want this song to finish first? Okay, it's almost done. Let's try it. Check it. And that's it. Play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Okay, let's stop that music. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel on this Monday, the 7th of August, 2023. 10 more days, and I'll be on my way to paradise. Yes, that year-long planned, paid-for, weighted trip that we now probably can't afford, but we're going to go anyway. And we're heading to Hawaii for the first time. It's one of the 7 states that I have not been to yet. And I'm looking forward to it. We're celebrating our 30th anniversary, which was in February. Actually, we kind of did San Diego for that. And my wife's 60th birthday. Speaking of whom, Lady Boomer had a lovely, lovely birthday. Over the weekend, we went up north, as they say in Minnesota, and hung out on the lake for a day and surprised my wife with my son coming in from he flew in from Denver, and his wife she was here too for a bridal shower, and they had to rented 2 cars because he came up early and then she came up later after the bridal shower, and it was just a lot of fun. So it was a lot of fun. Come to Chicago. I love Chicago. The north side, at least. South side scares me nowadays. No, I enjoy Chicago. I'll come there too. I love hanging out in Lake Michigan. But anyway, so we're a whole bunch of stuff going on in the world. I'm looking at my screen here because I didn't get to open all the articles I wanted to. But I'll open a few more. I'm not going to get to half of these because holy smokes. This was a busy weekend for this stuff, and I just don't have the time. I mean, holy smokes. But we are going to get into things that are happening in the world today, this morning, right after we say hi to you. So first in chat over on Rumble, Mr. Mike Savage, Blarg, gets the bell. Thank you for joining us over there. Also, good morning, Phantom Dog Fart. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Phantom Dog Fart was next. And Jimmy Das Hotep. From the Hotep Nation. Jimmy, by the way, are you going to Hotep Con this year? Next week? Not next week. When is it? It's a week it's when we're in Hawaii. And that's why I can't go this year. because we planned this so long ago, and then they said Hotep Con was going to be the same weekend. I'm like, no, because I really wanted to go to Hotep Con again. I had so much fun last year, man. But just like curious, are you going? Anyway, good to see you. Mike Savage, hope you well. Don't forget to share it like Joey. Also do something healthy. You are worth the investment in your health. Yes, Jimmy Das is amazes me. I see your posts on Twitter all the time, him working out every day and just motivating other people while he motivates himself, and it's pretty freaking cool. So on YouTube, first in chat, Mr. Jesse Leon is in the house. Welcome back. Nice to see you every once in a while live. Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg. Trippy Liberty's in the house. Rod Line, Jen T's in the house. Tyrannus, Alexandrius, Invictus Slitch, aka Tyler Alexander's here. Good morning. Good morning, Tyler F. Good morning, Lord Stanhope. And wait, what's Meg for? You're talking about Meg as in Meg Rapinoe, as opposed to the Meg. You know you know that movie, The Meg. They mega gigantic super giant shark movie that I didn't see it, but anyway, I guess there's another edition of the Meg coming out, so I thought you were talking about the Meg, but you're talking about Megan Rapinoe or whatever the hell her name is. We'll get to that in a minute. Also, good morning, sir. Rod Line, hello. And GDSOB, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Nice to have you all in the house. And I'm sure people will be rolling in slowly but surely. But while you're thinking about it now, while I got it on your mind, hey, doesn't hurt to hit the like button now. Share the stream. Tell your friends we're here and tell them to come join us. Hell, I tweeted out the show, didn't I? Oh, I didn't. Here, how about if I tweet out the show? That'd be brilliant. It's playing right now. There you go. I had it ready. I just never clicked the go button. But thank you to those who did before me. That would be where is it? Oh no. Did I? Okay, I gotta shoot. What did I do here? Well, that was dumb. Let's try this. There's notifications here. Who's already in there? Who's already all up in it? Sound Humble Nation, thank you. Jimmy Das Hotep, thank you for tweeting out the show. You are awesome, the both of yous, and I hope everyone shares the stream out. Good morning, Septus Wolf. I see you dropped in too. I didn't mean to leave you out. And Simon Wolfwood's in the house. Nice to have you all here. Make sure you're subscribed both on YouTube and Rumble, no matter where you're watching from now. 14 watching on Rumble today. That's awesome. So that's a good thing too. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed on both though, because you just never know. YouTube is a little goofy with certain things that happen, and I just want to make sure you can see the show when you want to see it. I do have my cup of reparations. I got the Austria Cup today. The lovely, I don't know what the crests are, but there's all kinds of little crests, and I think those are the different states in Austria that have their different. I don't know what they are, but it's a cool cup. It looks good, and we got it when we went on that river cruise. Was it last year? Was that just last year? It seems like so long ago. I still have a lot of footage I got to get caught up on all the little, not just the big trips, because we only take a few big trips, but I got all kinds of little trips we take every weekend. And I put most of those clips on Marty's Big Journey, my other channel, and also on Instagram, Marty's Big Journey, the same thing, same brand. So if you want to see just like cool clips of cool places, that's where I post all of that stuff. And it's kind of fun. I do a lot of little of those, what do you call it, reels and shorts and whatever, videos of different things we see that are just cool and calm and no politics. And if you ever just need to get away, that's a great place to do it. So, all right, let's get into the show today. What's happening in the world? Some things that are trending right now. Anti-American is trending. It's like, and so there's a reason the term anti-American is trending. And I think it's an unfortunate reason. Because the ladies of the United States World Cup team unfortunately, in my mind, faded out very quickly in the round of 16. They lost they lost immediately in the round of 16 in the Women's World Cup. And so lots of people are kind of acting joyous for that because, they think that a lot of the team is anti-American and yada, yada, yada. So here's my personal take on this. Okay. Even though I don't like how some of the players present themselves and what they do, whatever, I'm still going to root for them. They're still our team. I don't have to like them personally, and not all of them are of the Megan Rapinoe variety. This clearly just hates anything that has to do with half of the country. But and I don't like the fact they didn't kneel. Look, there's a big hubbub that the fact that they were not singing the national anthem when they played the national anthem. And I was like, there's no requirement to sing the national anthem. Basically, the etiquette for the national anthem is to stand at attention. If you're a man, you take off your hat and you stand there. Now, some people say you put your hand over your heart. That's one of the things you can do, but it's not required. If you're in a military or a police uniform, you are required to salute the flag while the national anthem playing. You face the flag, whatever. And some of these ding-dongs decided to do the old Kaepernick route and kneel for our own national anthem. And it's like, I don't see a whole lot of countries protesting their own country at an international event. When you're on your own soil, if you're doing it at something that's, whatever, yeah, fine. But don't do it on the international stage, is my personal opinion. But that does not mean that I'm not going to root for our team when it comes down to it. Is there a little bit of schadenfreude that Megan Rapinoe is the one who she missed her penalty shot? In a way, but I still would have liked to have seen her done it. I'd still like to see the Americans win because I'm an American. Okay? So a lot of people are just, and some of the sentiment is the anti-American USA woke women's soccer team has been eliminated and Megan Rapinoe is the cause of it. Well, I don't know if it's the cause of it. Cat Turd putting out this I can't stop laughing. Not only did the American woke women's soccer team lose today, Megan Rapinoe missed a penalty kick that would have sealed the win for the U.S. Talk about a win-win. Well, in a way, I don't like this. I don't like this. Even though I don't like her. I don't like her. I just, the whole BS about the women they want the equal pay thing when the women were actually getting paid more than the men. And they're still being paid more than that. It's funny. You had to look up Nate the lawyer. Okay, Nate the lawyer put out this video showing that, they made this deal with, what is it, USS, whatever, the soccer association, right? They put out, they made this deal with this equal pay thing, right? So now they're getting paid equally by USS soccer, whatever. And here, let me find Nate the lawyer here. I'm going to put this video in the links today. Nate the lawyer. Okay. Here we go. Nate the lawyer. And he's got one that's called Eliminated. We'll put a pause on that so it doesn't play. There we go. And they have this thing where they're supposedly being paid equally right now, right? And what they do is whatever either team wins in their respective place, both teams are going to be played out of a pool from whatever the team does. So for example, this year, the men, I think they made it to round of 16 at the World Cup because the men's World Cup generates $6 billion in revenue and the women's World Cup generates about $140 million in revenue. There's a bigger prize pool for the men's cup. But if you make the round 16, so the men come back and they make what, like I think $12 million, something like that. Let's just say it's $12 million from the World Cup. Well, as a team, the women get half of that. The women bring in $2 million from this round of 16, and the men get half of that. So the women the Americans in the World Cup, between the two teams, the women's national team will make more money than the team that wins the Women's World Cup this year, because U.S. Soccer pools the total earnings and pays them equally. However, here's a little trick that they do. Remember when we were talking about how the women get all these benefits? They get paid health insurance, they get paid, medical leave, they get paid, they get life insurance and all this other stuff. They get all these extra benefits that add up to, part of the reason they're paid more than men. The women still get those things. The men do not. So now the women are being compensated more than the men on a sport that doesn't generate nearly as much revenue. It's uncanny. So that makes me go, I don't know if I really think, it makes you go, you know what I mean? I don't know if it makes you do exactly that. But anyway, so, this is interesting. So Jeremy from the Quartering, I don't know if you're familiar with the Quartering. He's a YouTuber or whatever. On Twitter, he put this post: between kneeling and refusing to sing the national anthem, it's an absolute chef's kiss. Anti-American, anti-women activist Megan Rapinoe missed the open penalty kick and led Team USA to a loss and then elimination from the World Cup early. And then he says, bitch. But here's interesting. The media has been disabled in response to a report by the copyright owner. That's interesting. Are they going around and copywriting? Are they copywriting the shot that she missed now? And so they're taking it down all over YouTube or all over Twitter now. That's amazing. Okay, Reaction Puerto Rico's in the house. Hello. So anyway, yeah. Here's that. Where's the Quartering? It was right here, I think. Or they take it. There it is, right there. Okay, right there. See, they took down the video of it. Now, another reason anti-American is trending is because some people are mad that MAGA types are cheering on the loss. And I don't know. Oh, God, good thing I didn't scroll that far. They're mad at the MAGA people because they're laughing about about them losing the World Cup. And also, let's see, these two, what is this? Someone at MSNBC. Oh, these two have been so helpful to the millions of Americans who are truly traumatized from Trump's vile, disturbing anti-American behavior. They're calling Trump anti-American behavior too. So anyway, so that's why anti-American is trending. Real quick, Jimmy Das Hotep, oh my goodness, drops a 50 over on Rumble. Thank you, sir. Wow. That's not a Streamlabs, so I can't be the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor today, but I'm going to give you one anyway. Until someone does Streamlabs. Hawaii 5-0 cash. Hopefully next year's HotepCon Morning Night Live show can happen again. Yeah, look, I've already, Lady Boomer said, we will plan around HotepCon so I can do a show from HotepCon next year. But thank you so much. That's very generous of you, sir. It's amazing. All right. The Hawaii 5-0. That's awesome. I get that. I got it now. The 5-0. That's cool. In fact, here, let me do one of these. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, how to get moved back over there. There. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep. All right, next thing. I'm taking way too long on that anti-American one. Let's go to the next other things trending. Alabama's trending. And look, I don't know. This was interesting. Down in Montgomery, Alabama, there was some knuckleheads about to go out on a boat. And I'm not 100% sure why the knuckleheads decided that they were going to get jiggy with this security guard, right? And I'm not going to show the fight because I don't want to, it's YouTube. I'm trying to be YouTube friendly. So these knuckleheads are about to go on the boat, and they got in an argument with the security guard, and then these 8 white dudes start ganging up on the security guard. Now, I'll leave the video in the links if you want, but they started beating up on the security guard. And like, nobody's like, why are you beating up on the security guard? He's just telling you what you can and can't do or whatever. Well, a little karma sets in later. Like, see, these guys are all beating up on the security guard for no reason. It's like, what are you doing, you idiots? What are you doing? Well, there's some people decided to come help the security guard. Some brothers and sisters, mostly black people, but it wasn't all black people. There was mostly. And they said, this ain't gonna work. So this dude is across like another dock or something. This dude jumps in the water and swims across to go help him. A bunch of these other people all see these guys beating up on the security guard. And where's the body in the picture change here? Well, and the picture's not changing. Anyway, so then it like about 40 guys go and beat up the the 8 white guys. And I hate stuff like this. But it was kind of karma. Why would these and I don't care their color, what color they are. Why these 8 guys decide to gang up on a security guard is just trying to tell them where they can and can't park their boat. And so it's all over the internet. You'll see the videos and stuff. But people are having a little bit of fun with this. I'm not. Good morning, Shrapnel, by the way. There's some funny stuff about it. That now people are saying, oh, this is kind of like Django Unchained, where this dude goes and beats this dude up or whatever. And also there's now the police finally came and they're feeling like they don't really want to arrest anybody, but they're pulling everybody out of the way and stuff. So anyway, there's a guy out here. This guy describes the action here. I'm going to play the description of the action because this is a pretty good description of what happened. All right. So it's, you know, I don't know why I like this, but we're going to play it anyway. So here we go.
Alabama riverboat fight, greatest piece of cinema I've ever seen. Honestly, some of the best action sequences all around. When that security guard is being 8-on-1 by the shirtless rednecks, and then a dude jumped into the water to swim across from a boat to the dock to even the odds. He sees 8-on-1, and he's like this one security guard having the shit beat out of him by shirtless rednecks. One of them came running in and gave a fucking running knee in salmon shorts. Like, these are bag of shit, shirtless, drunk rednecks attacking a lone black security guard. And this one dude jumps in and swims across. The crowd reacts the same way in Avengers Endgame when you hear Falcon go, on your left, and the portals open. The crowd watching this just went, oh my God, we can be involved too. And it goes on 8-on-1 to like 46-on-8. And then a dude has a chair. He's just smashing people. It's like the Hulk. He's just smashing people with a chair. They all deserve the belt. Everyone.
All right, there's one dude, in fact, the guy who swam across the little whatever where he swam across to the other dock, and he gets himself up in the dock and he's fine. He actually does like a WWF. He literally gets him into one of those. I don't know who did it. He gets his arm under. It's like when Stone Cold does that thing where he lifts the guy under his shoulders and he flips him and he slammed him to the ground. It would look like a battle royal. It was hilarious. Anyway.
Deserves the belt. Even the shitty cops, because the cops are like, I kind of don't want to stop this. They're like, when Chair Dude gets the one shot on the down lady, they're like, okay, we have to arrest you on camera. And they're mad about it. They're like, damn, dude, you were so cool until you hit that lady as she was down. Until that moment, they were like, oh, no. But yeah, greatest fight I've ever seen. It's a little bit on TikTok, but it's go to YouTube for this one. Alabama riverboat fight. There are multiple angles. So many people. And there's a DJ playing in the background the whole time. Top 10.
Okay, so anyway, so you can find that if you want to watch the whole thing. But, you know, the dudes who start beating up the security guard definitely earned their ass whooping as far as I'm concerned, because there was no reason for it. So anyway, but some of the funny things that are coming on there is they're trying to come up some people are trying to come up with names for the event. One of the most popular one is Fade in the Water, which I don't understand that 100%. But And then there's also come up nicknames for the guy who swam across the little channel there. Top 10 names: Black Aquaman, JJ Fish, Michael B. Phelps, Captain Hook, Catfish Cuz, Kofi Kingfish, Tyrone Locked, 21 Tilapia, La Damour, Shaquille O'Gills. But the best one I thought was this one. Aquaman. Aquaman. Oh, there's part of the fight. There's a point where he just... There it is. Wait, oh, that's the slam. That's where he did the choke slam. He did a... Watch, right here. He's going stone cold. Oh, it's choke slam. That was so hilarious. Anyway, I probably shouldn't even shown that much. But anyway, I don't know why I'm entertained by that. Because normally I don't like that shit, but... Dude who swam across the channel that helped out the security guard. I'm like, dude, you're okay with me. you went above and beyond. Because, just having a brother swim makes me happy because I can swim just fine. But anyway, he just like, he grew up on the river. You could tell because he just went right off into the water, ready to jump up and take care of things. Okay, other things trending. James Woods is trending for some reason. I'm not sure. He said, he predicted some kind of banana republic hijinks as far as Trump's, the Trump trials. Here's what he something he thinks something's going to backfire. Now, I don't know why I'm listening to James Woods. I don't listen to celebrities on a lot of things, but James seems to get some things right. James Woods gave his take on the banana republic hijinks of Democrats looking to destroy former President Donald Trump and predicted that the left-wing party will rue the day they decide to go down that road. In a lengthy Twitter post, X post, the actor wrote whether or not the indictments brought against GOP frontrunner by the Biden regime's legal hitman Jack Smith end up with a conviction of Trump. The damage to Democrats could be grievous and long-lasting. I don't know about this. They've got it seems like they cover all the levers of what happens. It's like they've got people, they got their fingers, their tentacles all in the Justice Department and the military and the FBI and CIA. They got a little too much stuff going on. I don't know how. I actually am kind of worried about old Donald J. Trump on this one a little bit, but there's been some speculation, some other stuff I hope I get to. But he said, as an objective political observer, I think. Now, hold on. Now, James Woods is not an objective political observer. He's firmly on the right. Now, I don't know if he's saying that as a objective. He's saying I'm being objective in this. Anyway, I don't think the Trump situation is a huge risk. Or I think the Trump situation is a huge risk for the Democrats. After an exhausting 2 years of foul and completely debunked Democrat scam, Russiagate, for them to launch this legal jihad is a monster gamble. It is an absolute cluster bomb against one man. And boy, they better be right. For one thing, many of these charges are flimsy, some specious, and others truly ridiculous. If they stick, even temporarily, they will make a martyr out of Trump, his supporters, and many independents will see him as one individual against a massive political machine, an armada of dirty tricks, and historically, the lone warrior is a sympathetic scenario. If Trump is ultimately acquitted, however, he will be the David who beat Goliath, and the Democratic Party will never recover. They will be forever seen as venal, nasty, mendacious charlatans and cheats whose latest charade fails miserably. Well, what do you mean will be? They kind of already are after Russiagate. Anyway, even if they convict him of all charges, though, millions of Americans will feel deprived of their candidate, regardless how hated he is by the other side, and they will be in a civil war frame of mind. Now, I think not violently, but a mental civil war. Because a lot of people it's funny because anytime Republicans say something like that, oh, the Republicans are calling for violence. No, we're not calling for violence. We didn't call for violence. They didn't call for violence on January 6th. They didn't call for violence on January 6th, but all of a sudden there's some flashbangs and people getting their ass whooped with batons, and they fight back. But the only pictures you see is them fighting back. It's kind of like when you get at a football game, right? The football game, two players get in a scuffle. One player hits the other, and the other player hits him back, and who gets the flag thrown on him? The second player, the one they see hit him back. You don't see the part where, the other player hit him. Well, I've watched a lot of video of January 6th, and I kind of watched, and there was one really good video showing how everyone was fairly calm. Yes, they were celebratory. People were jumping up and down, and some were up in the upper level, whatever. But there really wasn't any fighting going on. All of a sudden, 2 flashbangs right in the middle of the crowd. All of a sudden, some officers on this line start beating people with their batons. And then all hell broke loose. I'm telling you, there's a video that you can see that clearly. Who gets the flag? The people who fought against their ass getting beat by batons. They get the flag. Just saying. Anyway, he says, as a merely objective observer, I am guessing this is judicially engineered attack on the major candidate of the other party feels decidedly un-American, just reeks of Banana Republic hijinks, and is going to backfire. Trump may lose, but the fact that he's fighting back strengthens his folk hero stature even more every day. Democrats may laugh at that, but they do so at their peril, especially when they've got a candidate who can't say hello without lying. His own transgressions stacked a mile high in the closet. So anyway, that's why James Woods is trending. People are talking about that post. Moving on, Harry's Razors is trending. Harry's Razors. We're going to get into the social whatever section of the show. Harry's Razors, because so this, I'm just going to let you listen to this, and you can tell me what's wrong with it. Okay? You can listen to this and you tell me what's wrong with it. You just listen carefully, and I'll explain a couple other things when we get done watching this. Here it is. Harry's Razors. I think these are the 2 guys. This is the CEO of Harry's Razors talking. Listen to this carefully.
Created a really sort of unbalanced dynamic and made the co-parenting thing really hard to actually live in practice. And so, that experience, was one that led us to this conclusion that, hey, we need not just a general parental leave policy, but an equal parental leave policy that treats birthing and non-birthing parents equally. So we've implemented that and give everybody 4 months, regardless of whether you're the birthing parent or the non-birthing parent.
What? Wait. Did he say birthing parents and non-birthing parents? Okay. Yeah, did you mean mom and dad? I mean, maybe if it's 2 lesbians and one gets artificially inseminated, but still, it's the mother. How about just the parents? Giving each parent leave, whether or not they're the mother, the one who did the pushing and stuff. But he's using that language, that non-birthing parents. Let's see.
And then last, we also, as a company, have always tried to sort of be socially minded and not just be about
socially justice minded. Okay, so wait a minute. So another reason that they're trending, and I don't, let's see how far I have to go here to find it. Yeah, they're doing an ad campaign with a trans man, and clearly the scars are in there and whatnot, and it's like, it's just, look, I mean, I'm at a point where some people, how I say sometimes it's just attention seeking behavior to say that you're trans or something. It's getting to the point where, you know what, if you want to be on TV or in a commercial or whatever, you got to have something like, well, you either got to be black, because pretty much all TV ads are black people now. Or you got to do something weird to yourself. You can't just be regular everyday, hot dog, apple pie eating American And you definitely can't be white Americans. White people, you can forget it. You can't be in no commercials no more. If you're in a commercial, you're the like the goofy person that they're making fun of, or you're a white woman, generally without red hair. So anyway, I don't get it. That's why Harry's Razors is trending. Next, what else is going on here? Now let's get into the main the picture topic. The picture topic from up here. This right here. Well, you can see that little thing of Neo. So Neo, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a singer-songwriter. He had one pretty big hit. What's it? Tonight, everything tonight. I call him poor man's Usher, because he's, he kind of had an Usher vibe when he came out, wearing that kind of same hat, and he dances a lot like Usher, and he's a very talented singer, but I don't know if he's had other hits or not. I don't pay attention to, music that much, but he's at that one song, everybody sexy, tell him everybody sexy, tell him, hey, doop doop doop, everything tonight, doop doop doop, that song, Anyway, so he was doing a interview on Vlad TV, and he said this. Now, you're going to have to hold your hat, because this is a modern-day entertainer who has some questions about, and in fact, it happens to related to the thing Harry's things there. No, that wasn't Pitbull's song. Well, but he sang the hook on it. If that was it was Pitbull's song, but he sang the hook on it. And he had a couple other hits, but whatever. Anyway, so Neo is on Vlad TV, and we're going to listen to this, about 3 minutes of this interview. And I'm going to tell you the aftermath, because it was quick and fast and furious, and I'm kind of mad about it. But I'm just going to tell you, he had the right idea for 3 minutes. Let's listen to this. Talking about parenting. Okay? Here we go.
Parents have almost forgotten what the role of a parent is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay,
Lost control.
if your little boy comes to you and says, Daddy, I want to be a girl, and you just let him rock with that,
Right.
he's 5.
Right. And where did he get that
If
from?
you let this 5-year-old boy decide to eat candy all day, he's gonna do that.
Exactly.
Like, when did it become a good idea to let a 5-year-old, let a 6-year-old, let a 12-year-old make a life-changing decision for themselves?
Right.
When did that happen?
Right.
Okay,
Like,
listen to
I
these
don't understand
questions.
that. I don't get that.
And
Listen.
to medicate these young kids that are 5, 6, growing up and knowing that it affects their brain, it affects their organs, it makes them sick, but they're not allowed to do drugs, they're not allowed to do alcohol.
Right.
We can medicate
He
them up.
can't drive a car yet, but he can decide his sex.
Right, right. What sex orientation, and you can cut off his pee-pee, and that, to me, that makes no sense
And
whatsoever.
it's, I don't know if this is true, but I heard a rumor that they either passed or are trying to pass a law in LA that states
In California.
if your child comes to you and asks to do some of these things and you say no, they can take your kid from
That
you.
is
true.
that is the law in
Just passed
California
in
now.
California.
That makes no sense.
They want us to have no control over our children
I don't get it.
in schools,
And whose kids are they?
I don't
and
get it.
hospitals, libraries.
Yeah.
They just
I don't know what a library is. Oh, library. Jesus.
want to manipulate. You got to understand, when they're so young and they're already, that's
Impressionable.
That's right. And from them, they're going to believe what you say. I mean,
Yeah.
we say Santa Claus is real, the
And they
Easter Bunny.
believe it, like,
right,
come on.
exactly.
Like, you gotta
they know what they're doing.
Remember who you're dealing with. Like I can't take credit for it, but I heard somebody say one time, he's like, all right, if your son comes to you and says, Daddy, I want to be a girl, ask your son, what is a girl?
Oh, it's Neo?
that's a good one.
What is he
Okay.
gonna do? He's gonna say, well, he might want to play with dolls. All right, you want to play with dolls? Fine, play with dolls.
Right.
But you're a boy
Right.
playing with dolls.
That's
I want
right.
to wear pink. All right, cool, wear pink. But you're a boy
That's right.
wearing pink. No issue with.
So, I'm gonna stop there. Is there anything wrong with what he said? Is he wrong at all? I would say no. I think he's right on track. And all he's doing is honestly asking the same questions that everyone should be asking when it comes to gender ideology, right? And I don't get. Let's see what the rest
With
was.
the LB.
I haven't listened to the rest of this, so we're gonna listen to the rest of it, and then we're moving on.
That's
I want
right.
to wear pink. All right, cool, wear pink. But you're a boy
That's right.
wearing pink. No issue with the LBGT. I have no problem with none of it, with nobody. Okay,
Right.
love who you love, do what you do.
Exactly.
I just personally come from an era where a man was a man and a woman was a woman, and it wasn't but two genders.
Oh
and that's
my
just how I rock.
gosh!
Me
Now,
too.
Oh my gosh!
You could identify as a goldfish.
Right. I agree.
In my business, it becomes my business when you try to make me play the game with you. I'm not finna call you a
Right.
goldfish, but you want to be a goldfish, you go be a goldfish. It's all good.
Amen.
I mean,
Well said.
it's just, we live in a weird time, man. We do.
And
All right. So anyway, now, no less, or less than, I should say, less than 48 hours later on Twitter, Neo, I'll pronounce it right. Hello, Annalyn, by the way. Neo puts out this statement on Twitter. I'd like to express my deepest apologies. After much reflection, I'd like to express my deepest apologies to anyone that I may have hurt with my comments on parenting and gender identity. I've always been an advocate for love and inclusivity in the LGBTQI plus community. Now, first of all, this is hilarious. Because I'm going to stop. Because when he said during the interview is the LGBT something, whatever, he didn't even know. So I'm not sure where he means that. And also, look, his singing career, a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's still out there doing work or not. But somebody threatened him. So he said, okay, always an advocate for love and inclusivity in the LGBTQI plus community. So I understand how my comments could have been interpretive and insensitive and offensive. Okay, so is he giving a full apology here? I hope not. Gender identity is nuanced, and I can honestly admit that I plan to better educate myself. What? On the topic, so I can approach future conversations with more empathy. At the end of the day, I lead with love and support everyone's freedom of expression and pursuit of happiness. So clearly, this caused an uproar, right? It caused a major uproar with either his fans or his, I would say his management, the people who hire him, the people who run tours probably got to him pretty quickly and said, no, you're done. Because look, I don't know if he's doing a lot of work right now or not, but whatever work he's doing now is precious. And somebody threatened him with a job. And my first thought was, look, with all due respect, sir, if you were asking the right questions, those are the questions everybody should be asking. When you say, I plan to better educate myself on the topic, here's what I hope. I hope that when you do this educating of yourself, I hope one of the first that you seek a really full, robust picture from every possible angle on this. And if your conclusions and your concerns are unchanged after you do this reflection and educating of yourself, I hope you say so. I hope you tell the world so without fear. Because I'm telling you, you research it long enough and you're going to realize you were right. You were 100% right in your questions, your whole thing about parenting, the whole thing about kids. Kids cannot make these decisions. Kids do not make lifelong decisions probably before they're 25, that you can't trust them to make life. They make decisions on impulse. They make decisions on what you allow them to do. They make decisions on what their friends do. They don't make good decisions. They can't make a decision to medicalize themselves for the rest of their life when they have no concept of what the rest of your life means. Because Santa Claus is going to come for the rest of your life too. Oh, what? There's no Santa Claus? Oh. And I'm only 11 and I figured this out now. Well, what's next? So anyway, it drives me insane. Now, lots of people have been just a lot of backlash on the fact that he backed off of this. If you look on Twitter, never bend the knee. It won't be enough for the mob. They'll continue to attack and hate you even with this statement. And now you've pissed off the people who supported you for being honest. True. Wilfred Riley, look at the comments, dog. You're a legendary R&B singer with a 70% female audience. Who do you think objects to what you said in the real world? True. Okay, for starters, there's no way you penned this, and this is weak. If you do not stand for anything, you will fall for anything. Sometimes people need to be offended, particularly when they're demanding the rest of the world to play along with them. True. Don't be weak, Neo, whatever it is. You spoke facts that needed to be heard. True. So there are a lot of people supporting that are mad that he backed off on the statement. Now, I didn't really look at I didn't look at comments of the only people I saw putting this out there were mostly conservative people. So if you go into their feeds like this, I don't know who Dominique is here. She may or may not be conservative or not, but there's a lot of people who are not conservative who agree with what he said here. Apparently he's not apologized, captured coward. Please kindly retweet the tweet in order for the donors to reach out to complete the remainder of the child. What? I don't know what that means. What would you say was the minimum age for a child to make a life-changing decision? Oh, I don't know. One that requires surgery and removal of body parts and permanent medicalization. It should be 25 when their brain stops developing. But certainly at least minimum 18. Legal adulthood. And lots of people, he folded. He's already backtracked. They got him and he apologized. When people like him become the voice of reason, we are in trouble. I don't know. Who's we? They don't. That's the point of utilizing puberty blockers. No, puberty blockers are permanent damage to your body. They are not reversible. Sorry, it's amazing that I get so tired. It hurts me to talk about this subject so much, but it's in the news constantly. The activists are pushing this like crazy. So anyway, that's what that's about. All right, let's move into a few news articles. This is the Daily Call. Now, I didn't see this. I don't recall seeing this before. Video resurfaces on social media of Ukrainian prosecutor Joe Biden bragged about having fired. So the Ukrainian prosecutor Joe Biden bragged about getting fired while serving as vice president. A video of him is circulating on social media. In it, the former Ukrainian prosecutor claims Biden was acting in his own interests and not in the interest of the American people. Viktor Shokin, who was fired while investigating wrongdoing at Burisma, is shown in the video, which has been identified as part of an investigative documentary called Ukraine Gate by Les Crises, a French site. Resurfaced video is from the fourth part of the documentary. Shokin claimed that since the United States has one of the best intelligence agencies in the world, it is widely believed his investigation into Burisma was being monitored by American officials by both legal and illegal means. We have to believe that Mr. Biden was told that we were going to start questioning his son, Archer, I think he meant Hunter, and others. His son and Devin Archer and others involved in the Burisma case. Shokin states in the video, everyone understood very well, Shokin added, that the fight was going to end badly for them. So here's this video. I don't know if it's in English, I'll play it. I'll keep playing if it's not. There's subtitles. Hang on. It's a 10-minute video with subtitles. You can watch it. It's in the story here. But anyway, Shokin maintained in the video that he is not accusing anyone of doing anything wrong, as there is a presumption of innocence in Ukraine, but he reiterated he believed Joe Biden was aware of the risk looming over his son prior to his firing. Quote, "We were advancing, me and my colleagues, and we were about to reach the outcome of this case," Shokin stated, when Biden used all of the unofficial means at his disposal to have the investigation stop. Biden allegedly used people to act on his behalf, like Sergei Lyshenko, an anti-corruption advocate and former member of Ukraine's parliament, and Mustafa Nayem, another member of Ukraine's parliament. And then he further claimed in the video that in trying to protect his son, Biden acted in his own interest and not in the interest of the American people, despite there not being a criminal investigation into Hunter specifically. So you can watch that. It's subtitled, so you'll have to watch it. I'm not going to play the whole 10-minute video here, but that's very interesting. Over at PJ Media, what if Trump stops playing along? This is a good question. So over the weekend, let me pull this off the screen for a second. Over the weekend, so the judge in the case of the January 6th stuff, right, gave an order to Trump, and one of the orders was, you shall not do anything to intimidate witnesses. Hello, Renee Mayette, by the way. You shall do nothing to intimidate witnesses and stuff like that. And Trump has been tweeting in his own style all weekend, talking about, if you come after me, I'll come after you, and this and that, and blah, 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 blah. And, I think it's a point where Trump is almost daring this judge to throw him in jail. Because there's already been complaints, and there's already a request for a protective order on Jack Smith. There's already complaints to the judge that he's disregarding your order of intimidating witnesses and whatnot. And he's flat out telling, there's no way he's going to get a fair trial in Washington, D.C. Okay. There's idiots out there saying, well, you need to elect a jury. You have unlimited, rejection of candidates. No, you don't. No, you don't. No judge does that. They limit how many times you can reject particular potential jurors. But Washington, D.C. is 90? They voted 97% or something for Joe Biden. It's Washington, D.C. You've heard nothing but insurrection. That didn't work. Why isn't that working? Insurrection, not working. Oh, here we go. Check. Insurrection. There we go. Whatever the hell happened there. Anyway, so he's over on Truth Social posting up a storm, all these things. I think he's trying to get the judge to throw him in jail, because that would just make people madder and more upset. But anyway, so this is a good question in PJ Media. What if Trump stops playing along? Let's get so you can see it. By now, we're used to getting the breaking news alerts. Oh, Trump must have been indicted again. We sigh and say, I guess he pleaded not guilty again. We're no longer even bothered to click through. The tragic and demoralizing, utterly partisan corruption of our once great American justice system is complete. And we are in such uncharted territory that we have no clue what to do at this point. Now this writer says, for me, the no longer American justice system crossed the Rubicon when they raided the former president's private home. That was an unprecedented and tragic enough for me to lose my respect for the DOJ. And naturally, well, now look, there have been other opportunities in the past, trust me. Anyway, and naturally, once our country tilted over the top of the waterfall, it has only picked up speed on its plunge to a disastrous chasm below. It's time for former and possibly future President Trump to grab that branch that's sticking halfway down, and refuse to fall any further. In Fulton County, Georgia, which was featured prominently in the film 2,000 Mules for likely illegal ballot harvesting, despicable and racialist Soros DA Fani Willis has been working on her own Get Trump indictment, and as if the entire world doesn't know who Donald Trump is, Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labat has promised to, at long last, secure that coveted mugshot. Quote, unless somebody tells me differently, we are following our normal practices, and so it doesn't matter your status. We will have a mugshot ready for you, vowed Labat on Wednesday. So we've entered the part of the drama where the evil ghouls shave off Aslan's majestic mane and mock him on the way to his slaughter. Trump is dutifully visiting the stations of the Crossy Bears. Oh, do not. I don't like this writing. Do not compare him to Jesus. Good God. But Trump isn't Jesus. Oh, he says it right there. Trump isn't Jesus. He's a lion, not a lamb. And there's no reason why he should take one more choreographed step in the left's disgusting dance. It's not fair, so let's stop pretending it is. So what if Trump simply says no? Now remember, we're cascading down the face of the cliff at this point. Every step of the way will become increasingly debasing and humiliating for the former president of the United States and the front-running candidate for office in 2024, who is, after all, the representative of the political will of half the country, you and me. What if Trump simply refuses to show up for Fannie's hate indictment, arraignment, and Lamont's cuffs and mugshot routine? I'd pay good money to see the look of frustrated rage on the leftist faces when they realize he's not coming. Trump should force their hand, make them send armed forces to arrest him, like the thugs they are, show the captivated world that, yes, it's true, America's gone, replaced by just another failing fascist state. It's not like the former president has anything to lose at this point. We all know where this is headed. Trump forcibly imprisoned. He could save himself the years of ratcheting up humiliations and tens of millions of donors' dollars, and just cut to the chase. Run his campaign from prison if need be against the now fully exposed fascists who put him there. The next president, even if it's him, can pardon him and save us all the drama of this endless law war. Well, the problem is if they do it in New York or Georgia, no. You can't pardon him. Those are state charges. That's what they want. They're doing everything they can to get him out of the paint. Anyway, then he says, please, President Trump, do something. We remain ever grateful for what you did to stop the decline when you were in office, and in your influence alone, you remain the most powerful leader in America that has today. Please lead again. Tell him you're not going to be the gulag-bound victim, the Emmanuel Goldstein. Tell them you ain't gonna dance no more. Well, I don't know if I like this advice, but it would be, I guess it'd be a lot of fodder for people like me who talk about this every day. It would be entertaining. But there's just some of the, here's what I hope. I hope that when they get to the documents case, okay, there's got to be a reason that he was hanging on to certain documents. There has got to be a reason he was hanging on to certain documents. Should I do it one more time? Who's the dude that says everything in threes? The black guy, the brother who's anyway, there's got to be a reason he held on to things. There's got to be something in there that implicates people, that if they do this case and they have to talk about this case, it's going to show that he has some proof of some shit. And there are also some rumors out there that he has some proof that there's some military people who were involved, a little bit of stuff going on. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of these cases. Plus, Discovery is going to be a bitch, as far as I'm concerned. Discovery is going to be a bitch. And I don't think I hope that this is a trap he set, just like everything else. Whenever Trump would say something and everyone said, oh, that's not true, this is not true, that's not right. And then 3 months later, it's exactly what Trump said it was going to be. So, real quick, thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. Jimmy Das says, it's crazy how distorted it is by location. So many great decisions have come out of the circuit courts regarding firearm freedom. The main problem I have is speed. These cases will drag forever and bleed people dry. How does a citizen truly combat this? Well, in this case, that's not what Jack Smith wants. Jack Smith wants this to go fast. And I think the Trump team is going to be the one who ends up dragging it out. And it's going to drag out, some of it's going to drag out past the election if he can. I don't know if this DC judge will allow it, but yeah, in some cases you want a speedy trial. Like all the January 6 people, their trials were delayed by the fact that they couldn't get the Brady evidence. They wouldn't give them the evidence. They wouldn't give their defense teams any of the video, the exculpatory evidence. There was a lot of fight about that. And so some of these people sat rotting in jails in terrible conditions, especially the ones who got stuck in D.C. for the longest time when it was completely unnecessary, especially considering a lot of them weren't even charged with even felonies, misdemeanor charges. So it's just, I don't know. How do you legally introduce evidence and all that jazz? Anyway, thank you, Jimmy Hotep, for sponsoring the show once again. If you want to sponsor the show, Streamlabs, pdognight.live, best place to do it, because I know how to get to more of the money goes where you're intending it to be, and it'll help me out greatly. But also super chats. Are super chats still up? I don't see it. See, I don't see super chats on my own channel. Let's see. And but I think it's there, or Rumble Rants to Venmo and Cash App for the people who just don't want to say anything but want to donate. All right, let's get back into this next one here. Oh, now this is weird. I didn't see this until today, but this is from the weekend. Happy Indictment Day in a deep blue state, recoiling from the celebrations. This is Naomi Wolf. Naomi Wolf didn't she used to be like way out there on the left, and now she's become kind of realized how some people on the left just are not nice people. She's I'm in a deep blue small town in a deep blue state here on the West Coast. The natives are jubilant today. Happy Indictment Day, shouted the neighbor of my host as my host and I sat out on the balcony. The neighbor was emerging from a car 3 stories below us. The building must have contained 30 apartments. The man was certain that everyone who was in earshot of his joyous shout agreed with the sentiments. He witnessed my silence. Don't you agree? He goaded me, a near stranger still shouting. Don't you? I finally responded. I'm not sure this sets a great precedent. Every sitting president in the future will try to indict his or her political opponent. He cut off the discussion, a reaction from the left to which I am getting accustomed, and headed inside. In fact, he pouted and bitched himself away. Hello, Roasted Opinions. What's up? Let's see. Earlier at lunch, an otherwise lovely lady had celebrated the possible near incarceration of, quote, that criminal. Again, she assumed that everyone present shared her views of the events that day. Now, it's funny because I have family members who post on other places, and friends and family who don't share my political beliefs, but are certainly so excited that they have done so, that this happened, and you see them post on Twitter, and like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, she says, I'm experiencing considerable inner turmoil at the spectacle of President Trump's indictment, as well as the almost animalistic glee that this spectacle has triggered in the solid block of Democrats that currently surround me. I am extraordinarily sad at the thick-headed ignorance of history that those who are celebrating tonight reveal, and what has become of our country. Don't people understand, much as they may hate this fellow, that this is exactly what coup leaders in every banana republic do, seek to imprison their political opponents, especially while the political opponents are on the campaign trail. Hello, unacceptable views. Another reason for my discomfort and misery is that I have a horribly guilty conscience because of what I experienced 2 decades ago and what I know, things that not that many people have experienced. Okay, she put an extra word in there. Things that many people experienced or know. Not many people experienced or know. These memories bear directly on current events. The indictment of President Trump is for the crime of election denialism, among other alleged crimes. That's a thought crime. That's a thought crime. That is a thought crime. Okay, somebody tell me who I'm making fun of when I do that. You repeat everything 3 times. It's, what the hell's his name? Someone remember. Avocados Diabli, how you doing? It's quite odd that many major news articles have links when the word indictment is mentioned, but these links take the reader to other news articles and do not link to the actual indictment. Daily Clout.io, in contrast, published the indictment. The first few paragraphs make your head explode as they directly contradict themselves. The defendant, Donald Trump, was the 45th president of the United States and a candidate for re-election in 2020. The defendant lost the 2020 presidential election. Despite having lost, the defendant was determined to remain in power. So for more than 2 months following the election day, on November 3rd, 2020, the defendant spread lies that there had been outcome determinative fraud in the election and that he had actually won. These claims were false, and the defendant knew they were false, but the defendant repeatedly and widely disseminated them anyway to make his knowingly false claims appear legitimate, created an intense national atmosphere of mistrust and anger, and erode public faith in the administration of the election. The defendant had a right, like every American, to speak publicly about the election and even claimed falsely that there had been outcome determinative fraud during an election and that he had won. He was also entitled to formally challenge the results of the election through lawful and appropriate means, such as by seeking recounts and audit of the popular vote in states and filing lawsuits and challenging ballots and procedures. Indeed, in many cases, the defendants did pursue these methods of contesting the election results as efforts to change the outcome in any state through recounts, audits, legal challenges were uniformly unsuccessful. So, hello, cannibalistic wizard. I see you now. So, you're allowed to challenge the vote and you're allowed to say what you want about the vote count because of the First Amendment, but in fact, you are not allowed to challenge the vote count and you can't say aloud why you are seeking to challenge the vote count. That's the contradiction between those first two paragraphs. Other news stories, understandably, did not link to this word salad. It's odd, for instance, that Reuters itself presented what is in the indictment as late as August 1st as hearsay and simply paraphrased it. Based on the description, they appear to include Trump's former personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, who called state lawmakers in the weeks following the 2020 election to pressure them not to certify their state's results. Former Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark tried to get himself installed as Attorney General so he could launch voter fraud investigations in Georgia and other swing states, and Attorney Jeff Eastman, who advances the erroneous legal theory that Pence could block the electoral certification. Now, it seems that the people around the president tried to pause the certification process until the votes could be fully verified. It seems that his lawyers tried a legal theory to delay certification. Oh my God! Hasn't a version of all that happened before in our nation's history? Well, yes, it has. Is that not what happened? What's supposed to happen when there are charges of problems with the vote? Is that's not what we are tasked with doing? Calling a halt and stopping the process until every vote is recounted and verified? Why isn't that working? There we go. I'm having relentless flashbacks to where I was and what I was doing in the late 2000s when I was a campaign consultant for Vice President Gore's campaign for the presidency, as I've written elsewhere, and as I am desperately trying to remind everyone who will now listen on every podcast that will have me. I was advising from the distance and looped in intermittently to discussions within the campaign that were both public and private about exactly the same issues that are now apparently criminal offenses, even to entertain, let alone mention in actual words. So, where most of all of the lawyers, campaign consultants, and advisors and staffers for Gore 2000, so he was the candidate himself visibly, were almost all the lawyers, campaign consultants, wait, what is it? Oh, so were almost all the lawyers, campaign consultants, advisors, and staffers, and visibly the candidate himself on the other side. The Gore campaign denied the claimed outcome of the election. The Bush campaign denied the claim and outcome of the election. Both campaigns, both candidates denied it up and down. They denied it on podiums, in front of crowds, on television interviews. They denied it in sound bites that sought to prejudice popular opinion, such as the brilliantly juvenile epithet via Team Bush coined while it was Still November, sore loserman for Gore Lieberman. They both denied it via flotillas of highly compensated attorneys gathered on both sides to spin and find the legal theories and legal loopholes. The Bush team denied it by sending an awkward suburban version of black shirts to get guys in Oxford shirts and khaki pants. The Brooke Brothers riot to create a noisy, menacing crowd outside the Miami room where the critical Florida votes were being recounted. The Bush team astutely denied the claimed election results by inventing the phrase hanging Chad. They didn't invent it. It was Florida. The media did that. And then by popularizing and suggesting that there was massive ambiguity in the casting of the vote due to the reality of some unreadable, imperfectly punched paper ballots, the Gore team, for their part, denied the claimed outcome by seeking at one point to count only those counties in Florida that were most supportive of Vice President Gore. Both candidates denied the claimed outcome of the election all the way up to the Supreme Court. Both stopped the process until every vote could be checked and rechecked. So every conversation, public and private, for both campaigns, for both candidates, from the 35 days from the close of Election Day in December 12, 2000, the date of the Supreme Court's decision in Bush v. Gore, was about denying the claimed election results of the election. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The drilling down the need of the country to understand who actually won went all the way to the level of consortium of newspapers eventually recounting 175,000 undervotes and overvotes, and the margins of victories that they found, depending on how you are counting, were as narrow as triple digits. And yet today, you are a criminal if you ask for everything, for anything, to pause so you can review reported voting irregularities in the tally of the race. Now, why did the two sides fight so hard in 2000? Why did they battle for 35 days after the polls closed? Why go all the way to the highest court in the land? Why? Because that's how it's supposed to work. Today, based on the premise of President Trump's indictment, all of those discussions, strategy sessions, consultation with attorneys, meeting with campaign staff, memos, emails, faxes, all of that litigation would expose the candidates and their campaign staffers and their advisors and their lawyers to criminal charges. That's what just happened. Think for a moment about what President Trump's indictment for the thought crime of resisting, just as both Vice President Gore and George Bush did 20 years ago. Then pat early declarations of CNN and Fox and New York Times about who won the presidential race will do to the future of our nation. In every future election, if both candidates and all of their staffers, advisors, and lawyers do not immediately yield to the declarations of the official outlets, if they both don't cave right away to early calls by CNN, this is CNN, the Washington Post, MSNBC regarding what the powers that be have decided for us in relation to whom our dear leader is to be, then they will face possible prison terms. That's the precedent that we're setting right now. Why even have elections in the future if this is the precedent that is now being set? And there you have the answer. This kangaroo court, this 1930s area show trial, is not about President Trump, though he is a convenient outsider to use as the much-hated exemplar for what the powers that be have decided needs to be done. It is, as President Trump often reminds us, not about him, it's about us. It's all about setting a precedent that ends the right of the American people to ask any questions in the future about their election results, which is exactly how coups operate once the coup leaders are in power. In a banana republic, they still hold elections. You just don't get to ask questions when you're told who the winner is. So no, here in this beautiful deep blue state, in this mellow sage-smelling western evening air, though people around me are festive and gleeful, I am not celebrating. It is not President Trump's funeral dirge that I am hearing. It's our republic's own. Damn, Naomi. Killing it, girl. All right, we're going to do lightning round for the rest because I'm not even close to getting through these. In Breitbart today, Bill Barr has said that he will testify in the Trump trial, apparently on Face the Nation. Major Garrett, were you interviewed by the special counsel? Barr said, I'm not going to go into that. Would you appear as a witness if called? Of course. Well, of course he will. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Also, Mike Pence said he would testify against Trump at the January 6th trial. He will obey the law. Whatever. He's, I always questioned from the beginning, but, you know. In the New York Post, Jack Smith would rip up Americans' right to free speech. We kind of, you know, Naomi's, Wolf's article there kind of explained it even better. But this is an editorial by Beth McCahey. We'll skip it, but if you want to see it, just to let you know it's there. Here's a good one to the American Thinker, though. 5 possibly good things from the Trump indictments. Okay, so the indictments for Trump are destructive for the country, symptomatic of our increasing separation. We are seeing a never-ending series of banana republic-like lawfare indictments of the candidate leading the race for the Republican nomination, and in a dead heat with the probable Democrat nominee. Successful lawyers, lawfare destroys the wealth, spirit, and support of the person under the attack. Destroying President Trump's wealth or fighting spirit was always the long shot. The goal is to destroy his support. So anyway, he comes up with 5 reasons why the 5 possible good things that come from the indictment. Let's just go to those right away. 1, the indictments suck all the air out of the 24/7 news cycle until it's over, and it will never be over. This lawfare is designed to be a constant continuous until the election, with at least 4 different venues looking for a piece of the action. Expect a new revelation every day. The entire discussion will be about indictment trials and the inevitable DOJ leaks. This may seem bad. However, in an election cycle, if a candidate is unheard, he or she cannot build support. Once the trials start, everyone is stuck pretty much with where they begin. If Governor Hairgel enters as a reliever for Biden, the saturated news cycle will make it hard for him to build wide support outside of California and Democrat insiders. If you didn't know, now y'all know who Governor Hairgel is, right? That would be Gavin Newsom. Hello, fake news expert. So while most challenges are virtually silenced by the trial noise, one candidate has demonstrated the skills to turn the continuous negative news cycle in his favor, and that would be Donald Trump. Second one, the Trump ratchet of support is restarted. President Trump won in 2016 because his support was on a ratchet, not a typical wave. Because of COVID and riots, the support in 2020 was less defined and more typical of politicians. Legal problems are bringing the ratchet back. The support ratchet often builds upon a floor of support that may not be enough to win an election outright. At the beginning, the candidate then builds support from one committed supporter at a time. This is a supporter that is difficult to earn, but also one that is difficult to lose. Support builds slowly over time, one click at a time, and never reverses. So the legal issue create the Trump ratchet. Click by click, people decide that supporting the former president is a commitment they are willing to make and stick with to the end. Number 3, the deep state proves its own existence. Now, this is the big one. The deep state that denied it existed is now fully in the open. It's no longer possible to hide in anonymity. People have a natural aversion to secret societies and star chamber proceedings. If forced to choose between secret government cabal and a populist politician, they are likely to sympathize with the persecuted. Importantly, the deep state can never go back into hiding. We know it's there, and its members know that we know. The fourth one, the election irregularities must finally be discussed openly. This is big too. This is what I'm saying with the documents, the whole documents case. There's got to be some stuff in there about elections and some, shenanigans, right? Why would he keep the stuff if it's not about shenanigans? I'm sure some of the Hillary Clinton stuff's in there. And all that. That's all got to come out in the open now. It's all evidence that has to go on the record. Look out. And number 5, it's possible to target, destroy the DOJ's politicized lawfare, the practice of politicized Department of Justice with the power and resources of government to persecute the current administration's political opponents must end permanently. It is an abhorrent form of justice in a free state. An embarrassing defeat is necessary to reduce enthusiasm for its use to zero. Yeah, this is, imagine if they're defeated. That would be beautiful. So, because they shouldn't be able to use this ever again. All right, quick, like I said, lightning round. Let's try to do this without stopping. Elon Musk has decided to go to war against companies that punish their employees for posting on social media. He put a post out here the other day. If you were unfairly treated by your employee due to posting or liking something on this platform, X/Twitter, we will fund your legal bill. No limit. Let us know. So that's a pretty bold damn statement. So there have been a few people that have replied to it. Where, for example, there's this woman who follows libs of TikTok. Okay. And apparently she said something, and then people were digging through her social media, and basically they fired her for who she follows on Twitter. So she's going to take it up. In fact, here's one. CCDH has done this by engaging in a series of unlawful acts designed to improperly gain access to protected X-Corp data needed by CCDH so they could cherry pick from the hundreds of millions of posts made each day on X and falsely claim it had statistical support showing the platform is overwhelmed with harmful content. That's a different lawsuit. But X filed a lawsuit last week against a nonprofit organization accusing it of unlawfully accessing private data and cherry picking posts to show a rise in hate speech on social media. Oh, they're fighting this because there's this like I said, it's an NGO that has been going through Twitter data and saying, oh, there's a rise in hate speech on Twitter, when it's not really. So anyway, but that's a big thing. People because a lot of people get fired or whatever for their social media posts. Now Musk says they will pay for whatever lawsuits they want to file with big pockets. You might see some settlements in some of these cases soon. Moving on, CNN admits Joe Biden's poll numbers suck and Trump is in a historically strong position. This is interesting.
In this poll, people are also asked who they trust more on the handling of major issues. This really sticks out.
Yeah, it does. They ask congressional Republicans or the President of the United States, and we know congressional approval rating tends to be very, very low.
Yeah, like in the tank. I mean, like you can say it without even looking at the latest poll.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Mass murderers sometimes have greater approval ratings than Congress. But what we see here is that more people actually trust congressional Republicans than President Biden on the most important issues of the day. And this, to me, is a very worrying sign for the president who's going into the presidential election year, because the fact is, if he's doing this poorly against congressional Republicans, imagine what he might do against the presidential candidate from the Republican side.
So that's crazy. But also, come on, escape. There we go. This one's too on approval.
And I'll note the reason why that his approval rating is so low at this point is because it comes down to the economy. If you look...
What? I thought Bidenomics was saving the world. At Joe
Biden's approval on the economy right now, it stinks. It is well below 40%. You see it there.
He was a Jimmy Carter character.
Approval on the economy, and that's the top issue in our poll. So I don't think it's much of a surprise.
But what about Bidenomics?
If you are thinking on the issue that's most important to the American public, that your approval rating also stinks.
What about Bidenomics? I thought Bidenomics was saving the world, saving the United States. And then this last one real quick, and we'll go on.
I mean, the only one who was noticeably worse was Jimmy Carter. We always said Donald Trump had such a low approval rating, right? But if you look, what you see is that Donald Trump's approval rating was actually slightly larger than Joe Biden's was at this point. Trump was at 43%. Biden is at just 41%. So he's doing worse than Trump, who he was always saying was doing so poorly.
All right. So anyway, CNN admitting that kind of stuff. That's great. Let's see, Biden White House and now the Biden administration has stripped press passes for over 400 reporters. The White House managed to eject hundreds of reporters from the press briefing room by using new rules which limit the number of journalists who are able to qualify for a hard pass. The effect of the new rules introduced in May this year has been to remove White House passes from a whopping 442 reporters a 31% reduction. The White House now requires reporters work full-time at a news organization, live in and around D.C., regularly cover the White House, submit to an investigation by the Secret Service, and obtain accreditation by a press gallery in either the U.S. Senate, the U.S. House of Representatives, or the Supreme Court. The reporters can potentially obtain a temporary day pass, however, but even they would be required to reapply every single day. They're getting some of the more out there reporters out of the paint. Now, the White House also possesses more control over who is able to obtain a pass and can remove the passes of those who fail to act in a professional manner. This includes Today News Africa reporter Simon Ateba. He's the guy that fight goes round and round with Latrine. So anyway, they're getting those reporters out of there that ask them really tough questions, although they don't call them on that often anyway. In MRCT, pain at the pump, national average price of gas goes up 30 cents in a month. Now, if you don't get, I get gas a lot, and I drive I drive a 4-wheel drive pickup that uses a lot of gas. But it wasn't 3 weeks ago where I was like, I buy gas at Sam's Club. It was like $3.19 a gallon. Okay, next day $3.25. 3 days later $3.49, and then this morning I paid $3.54. Now that's low because I get it at Sam's Club. The average price of gas has gone up nearly to $4. Current average, $3.83 a gallon. So if you're paying more than $3.83, you are paying above average in your part of the country than I am. But gas up. Moving on. Let's see. America's debt rating has been downgraded. I don't know if you noticed that. Washington is still building back bankrupt. It's funny because there's been 2 times when the nation's credit rating was lowered in the last 50 years, and both times Joe Biden was somewhere in Washington near the White House, because they did it during his term and during Obama's term when he was the vice president. So that's wild. Was what an accident? Acosta? I don't know. Did I say that wrong? Well, here's the thing. I don't necessarily blame Joe Biden, by the way, for the gas prices going up at this time of year. The gas prices always go up this time of year because this is the time of year when, at least in the United States, people take their last summer vacation before school starts. August is a huge vacation month, either to go vacation or go someplace to a lake or boating or whatever. It's a huge vacation and recreation month. Gas prices always go up this time of year, but they're still almost $2 above what they were when the last guy was in office, the guy with the funny hair. So that's that. All right. What is this? Oh, just the fact that there's an article on the downgrade of America's credit again by some of the big credit, nation credit rating companies. Did you see this over the weekend? I've never heard of this guy, but this guy had an event in New York City where he was going to give away a bunch of electronic stuff or whatever, and thousands of people showed up, and they were starting to, it was kind of turned into a mini riot. It wasn't necessarily like fighting riot, but they were damaging cars and doing all this shit. And so this guy is now facing charges for inciting a riot and promoting an unlawful gathering in New York City after an online streamer drew thousands of his followers, many of them teenagers, with promises of giving away electronics, including a new PlayStation. And it just turned into chaos. I mean, you can watch video of it in the article here. There were just thousands of kids there jumping a car. And they were messing shit up. It was a bad deal. And because I saw something, when I'm driving home from the cabin, someone was like, "Oh, what the hell's going on in New York City? Is it a riot? Is it a fire? What's going on there?" Well, this guy is a Twitch streamer who had thousands of people show up. Not good. Not good. People act stupid for free shit. Exactly. Now, this is interesting. New York raised the age of criminal liability to 18. Now, you can imagine how that turned out. New York State was inspired to raise the age for a person to be criminally liable under the law to age 18 back in 2018. It's all the rage in progressive jurisdictions to treat violent juvenile offenders like Father Flanagan's kids. So there's no such thing as a bad boy. The purpose of the raise the age law, according to Juvenile Justice Advocacy website, was to ensure that more youth would benefit from the family court rehabilitative focus and sealed records policy. The law also barred all minors from adult correctional settings with few exceptions. So they wouldn't allow you to charge a minor as an adult. Say they committed a first-degree capital murder. Not so fast in New York. You have to be 18. So if you're 17, you have a planned out murder that you hunt down and tracked a guy and shot him in the head and tried to bury him in some cement and the police caught you. Criminal liability starts at 18 no matter what, right? Well, apparently it's not working out so well because they know they can get away with shit. And so there's been a little uptick in fatal shootings by people under the age 18. So that's the article talks about. In National Pulse, Pfizer reveals that several batches of vaccine imported for its staff. They had a special, Pfizer had the vaccine. They gave you the Fauci juice. What? Well, they found out that the Pfizer employees had their own special blend of Fauci juice. And so there's some people in various governments that are not happy that the Pfizer employees got their own special Fauci juice that may not have had the same formula as everybody else. I haven't read enough about it other than it's happened, and we're going to find out more about that in the near future, I bet. So, in Daily Caller, LGBTQ activist organization awards thousands to schools across country to promote gender ideology. Now, I wonder if the governor of Illinois' brother-sister had something to do with this, the billionaire over there. An LGBTQ activist organization awarded more than 70 public and charter schools throughout the U.S. and Canada thousands of dollars to promote gender ideology, support gender sexuality alliance clubs, and put on Pride Week celebrations, according to the group's website. Through 2023, It Gets Better Project has awarded at least 56 U.S. and 15 Canadian public and charter schools $10,000 each, for a total of $625,000 in grants to fund LGBTQ initiatives, according to the organization's website. Okay, I just never get it. Hello, Next Gen Troll. I don't understand this. Why is it the mission of schools to promote this? That's what they want the mission of schools to be, but I don't get it. Some school districts throughout the country are using the grants they received to fund gender transition closets and work with the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, the group in LA that was honored by the LA Dodgers, a group that describes themselves as a leading edge order of queer and trans nuns, to take transgender students back to school shopping. Please stop. You can read it yourself. Iowa School District reviews 370 books flagged for inappropriate content. Hooray, it looks like Iowa is actually starting to care about its children. A new law in Iowa, signed by Governor Kim Reynolds, prohibits public schools from buying and making accessible to students books that depict sexual acts or contain indoctrinating policies. The law also prohibits teachers from teaching on gender ideology or sexual orientation to students younger than 7th grade, Fox News Digital reported. This is a great step in the right direction for stopping public schools from indoctrinating and damaging kids they're supposed to protect. In response to the new rule, the Urbandale Community School District, I used to live in Urbandale, in Des Moines, is set to review close to 400 different books to figure out whether or not they violate the new law. Among those books, of course, is the now viral title Genderqueer, a graphic novel in which in detail with drawing depicts oral and anal sex as well as masturbation. Another book, All Boys Aren't Blue, is a memoir of a young queer man of color. So anyway, now it's going to turn into people saying, oh, they're going to be banning books in Iowa. They're going to ban books. No, not exactly. They're going to decide which books are appropriate for your school library. If you want those books, they're not banned. You can get them on Amazon. You can probably get them at the public library. You can probably buy them at your nearest used or new bookstore if there are any of those left. But you can still get the books. They're just not being banned. They're just not appropriate for your school. Just like I wouldn't bring out a whole stack of, the 1980s penthouse forums into your school. I'm not bringing in genderqueer either. So get over yourselves. Pornhub is no longer available on the school computers, and genderqueer is no longer available in the library. Go buy that shit for your own kids and shut the fuck up. All right, next. Oh, LeBron James School. Did you hear about this? LeBron James School is having troubles. He built this really great school in Akron, I believe, and spent a ton of money. And unfortunately, none of the schools are passing any standardized tests. Go figure. After 5 years of fanfare media coverage, LeBron James I Promise School in Akron, Ohio has failed miserably. None of the 8th grade students passed the state's math test, and only a few of them tested proficient in English. The school is also having turnover issues with campus leadership, giving supporters little reason for optimism. As one would expect, conservatives pounced on this news, and for good reason. Few people have been as insufferable as LeBron James. The basketball superstar has been a vocal supporter of leftist causes such as Black Lives Matter and activist scripters like Colin Kaepernick, despite okay, whatever. So his school's failing, and I don't know why. Maybe they're just not doing it right. If you want a school that is doing really good, check out the dude's school down in Montgomery, Georgia. King, what's King's last name? Who knows King's last name? I forgot. Anyway, he's got this school that he's been getting donations. And the kids are just disciplined. Every single kid in his school passed the Georgia proficiency standards, and he wants to blow it away now. King Randall, that's his name. So, yeah, they just doing it wrong. They need to go and check out what King Randall's doing. All right. By the way, a Chicago Public Schools employee was fired for objecting to a student drag show. Objecting to a student drag show. Disney 2 Magnet Elementary School and High School is a public school located in Chicago, Illinois. Its website proudly boasts the motto, a place to learn, discover, and do, but not apparently to dissent. An engineer who worked for the Chicago Public Schools reports that she was summarily fired from her position at the school after she raised concern about a student-produced drag show that was sponsored by the school's Gay Straight Alliance Club. According to the engineer who spoke anonymously with Libs of TikTok, a flurry of posters have gone around the school's campus urging students in grades 7 through 12 to join a drag and talent show. Concerned that such performance might be inappropriate for underage students, the engineer voiced her concerns to a school security guard, stating, I can't get on board with that, referring to the poster. Assistant school principal Matt Fasana overheard this private conversation and immediately asked her to explain. When the engineer expressed her reservations about a drag show being an appropriate event for a middle and high school students to take part in, the assistant principal accused her of not supporting equal opportunity. The engineer responded, I am for equal opportunity. I just don't think that drag is equal opportunity. Despite her legitimate concerns about the drag show, the engineer was eager to maintain a positive relationship with the assistant principal, and so later apologized for her tone, again explained that she was just concerned about the safety of the students, but apparently the die had already been cast. Just a few hours later, the engineer was informed that she was being placed on paid leave 1 week later after a brief meeting with Eco Alpha, the company that manages her and her contracts with the Chicago Public Schools. The engineer was told she was officially being terminated, allegedly for disciplinary reasons. She should sue. She should sue. That's all I can say. Sue, get your job back, make them pay you a big sum of money, and then say, fuck off, bye. There's a long form video former President Trump lays out his policy vision for the country upon return to office. If you want to watch that, it'll be in the links. Legal insurrection. DeSantis at a New Hampshire town hall says Trump is running in 2024 are the things he promised to do in 2016 and didn't do. So DeSantis is saying that, all the Trump's failed to finish, all the things that Trump failed to finish, he will do. Trump is, campaigning on that. There's an interesting fight between Trump and DeSantis. And DeSantis, unfortunately, his campaign is fading. I think he peaked a little too early. I think he could have held off longer. Anyway, that's it for today, gang. Now, in the links today, I also will have this video by Nate the lawyer regarding the U.S. women's national soccer team now that they're out, and about their equal pay earnings, how it worked out for them now that they lost in the round of 16 versus what they would have done had they won the whole thing. What's funny to me is if the United States women's national soccer team would have won the Women's World Cup, they would have had to split their earnings with the men's team on the new contract. Now, granted, the men's team had to split their earnings for coming in make it to the round of 16, which is more than the women would have gotten from the Women's World Cup. So they still would have come out ahead. But I'm curious if, let's say the men didn't even make it to the World Cup that year. The women would have had to share their earnings with the men. I wonder if they would have been like, oh, wait, we did what? What? What do we do? What do you mean we had to share with them? So anyway, it's a great video. Watch Nate the lawyer. I got to go, guys. Hey, before you click, though, hit the like button, share the stream, do all that stuff that you do. And you can sponsor the show, pdognight.live, 24 hours a day. Just write whatever you want to write. You get a lot of room to write some stuff there. You get in 3-4 sentences sometimes, depending on how long your sentences are. But Super Chats, Rumble Rants, Venmo, Cash App, all that information is in the description. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live, but it is that time that I have to go. So, thank you. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.